Good morning, everyone. It is way early here today. Uh, I'm home alone again. Yeah. But everybody's coming home tonight. So, what am I going to cook? Something I can make ahead of time that then can just be kept warm. Chili. I'm going to make a chili today. A chili. All the meat I have left is some bacon and jowl. Jowl bacon, which is what the pics have right underneath here. Big old thing, fat thing. Anyway, so it's cheaper. It's a lot cheaper, but it's good stuff. Chili. That's what I'm gonna make. A bacon chili. Celery I need to use up. Yes, that's exactly what I'm gonna make. Ooh, and I made these absolutely delicious muffins, but they're savory muffins. Yeah, sometimes I have stuff left over I don't know what to do with. My sister-in-law, she can't really eat anything much with like tomato sauce, or tomatoes are a problem for her. So but I can put it in certain things, for example, into muffins, and it doesn't bother her like that. So I used some leftover tomato sauce I had with zucchini in it, which is ratatouille, and of course I cut the whatever left the zucchini really small. Well, you could just put it in a blender too, and I added olives, no, hot peppers, with feta cheese in it, but they're not hot. So again, and all kinds of other things. They're so good. They are so good. Anyways, I have a bunch of those left over, and they're gonna go great with the chili. There you go. Yes, it's gonna be an inexpensive meal I can make ahead of time, put in my crock pot, and then whenever the people get here, and if they are hungry, yes. Which reminds me though, I've got to take out the steaks my husband left here from the freezer because he's still doing the carnivore. I know that, but that goes quick. So, okay. I'm gonna have a house full of people again. Uh, I did something this morning I haven't done in months. Not kidding. And which is watch the news. And there is one channel that I watch, and it was all about Israel and Hamas. Interesting. Hamas, as far as I know, that's not the country, right? That's just whoever they call themselves, a group, whatever. I don't know if they are the government in Palestine, or I have no idea. I don't know. I'm not going to go and check it out either, but it's interesting on how it's Israel against Hamas. Right? Yes? Well, anyway. And the one thing, so I just watch. I try to watch really with kind of a neutral heart. Again, who do I think about? All the commoners, all the people not involved in these wars, and who starts them and why. I mean, I'm watching this gun. Why? Why are they still fighting? Why is that? And over what? Again, right? Yes, sounds so familiar, right? On how uh, uh, conflict between kingdoms, just for what? Again, for what? What is it for every time? And the one thing I saw as well was the conflicts now here again in the United States, right? Yes, Man, I tell you what, it's just, and I thought, well, wouldn't it be interesting, of course, and from what I've seen, in the two short clips that I watched, it's like, ugh, haven't not gotten any farther than this, was on how the ones pro-Israel and the ones pro-Hamas here in the United States, all protesting in the same place, get at each other, right? First of all, they have to be kept apart, right? And then they get at each other, and sure enough, here we go. Brawls break out, this and that, and I don't know what. At least it seems like they're not killing each other. Okay, here in the United States. Right? Now I'm looking at this and going, well, this would be the perfect scenario to kind of study this and go, okay, what can we actually do here? Right? So we have these two groups, right? And bring them together, right? Bring them together, and well, I probably would bring people together that are, okay, I don't know. Anyway, bring them together and ask them, so why are you not in another country? Why are you not kind of rooting for unity, for some kind of a solution, some kind? There's only one solution, and it is, hey, we both live here, right? So let's just get along. Give him the 10 Commandments, for example, and say, that's what you need to live by. Done. Right? Yes? And the golden rule. But we have this opportunity here in the United States, and I'm sure other places around the world, where again, wait a minute, why are you starting a war here? We're not. The rest of us here, the rest of us, are you guys hearing me? We're not. I'm not fighting either side. What I'd like to know is, why are you fighting? Why are you fighting? And some things have already happened in the past now with this war, again, between these two countries, where you had to say, don't you people realize this is absolutely not acceptable? When it comes to, again, who's losing their lives. Right? And I'm a little flabbergasted on how nobody seems to kind of say, okay, stop. First of all, you're not doing this in our country. You have to stop this. But what we will do is, let's try and find out on how you guys can support each other here for each side of your common people. The common people who just want to do what? Live like we live here. Have to be able to do their thing. On the side of goodness, always. I always have to mention that, don't I? Well, it could be misunderstood. Yeah, right there. And try to build a bridge where these two nations here in this country can meet, embrace, and unite. And then give what? That message forward. What messages are we giving here to these two countries? Just say. So, again, how could this be flipped where, of course, I have no doubt that communist countries, or see, I don't like that either. Communist governments, that doesn't mean the whole country is communist, okay? Communist governments, yes? Oh, religious governments. As I said, it doesn't matter. The governments that are causing these conflicts around the world, okay? I think when they see what's going on here in our country, they go, because again, what, you think they're in a tank, in one of those tanks? They're the ones who are shooting off the rockets? They're the ones that are standing there with their guns just waiting to see who they could shoot? Where do you think they all are? Huh? You think any of their family members, just saying, maybe there is one or two, I doubt it, or themselves, there's none, I bet you there's not one government official on either side in captivity or held hostage or prisoner by the opposing side. Who are these people who are being held prisoner and are hostages? I'm just asking. And then they're being used. Again, hey, it's collateral damage. Let's see if it works or not. Right? Making it sound good to us. Okay, just saying. But the thing is, look what's going on in our country. It seems like going on again in our country with all this. Rather than where the people here, right, either from Israel or supporting Palestine, I'm assuming, not Hamas. Okay, just saying. Right? I don't know. Is Israel just as bad, or the Israel government just as bad as Hamas is? Yeah. Right. But what we could do in our country here, in a country where we have the possibility to show unity among the two countries, I think what they should do is build, and that comes from a ceremony I attended, the Bridge of Peace, it's called. I think they should, somewhere in the United States, maybe where the greatest conflicts are going on, build a bridge, where on either side, all the people of support Israel, people to support the Palestinians, right, stand, and one after another, they come together, two each, and they embrace. And they do it, and then the next two, 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 and go on, and go on. I'd like to see that done until this war is over. Where instead of we put ourselves behind the conflict, we put ourselves ahead of the conflict. You see? Why can't people do this in this country? Why can't the people who are so invested in either one or the other country, why can't they do that and show that's how it's done? And it could even be that either one, the people who are doing that, has a little something to exchange as a gift. Again, what's the conflict actually between Israel and Palestine when it comes to that little strip of Gaza? It's give and take within that little piece of land. Not possible? Why? And why is that? I've said what I had to say. I gave a solution that I think in our country would make more sense than the demonstrations, people beating each other up because of a disagreement that's happening where in the world? I would say if you're so gung-ho about it, then go either to Israel or Palestine. Leave this country in peace. Just saying. Or find a way to show to both countries that are fighting with each other how it is done. And the thing is, guess what? Who's going to respond the best to all that? It's the common people. When the common people stop supporting, don't have to just say, no, not going to come fight anymore. I'm done. I'm laying down my arms. When the common people stop, or again, in Israel, well, someone says, oh yeah, I'm not. No, there's common people over there, families, husbands, wives, children, grandparents, just as we have here. I'm supporting that. I'm supporting the peace of that. Not going to support fighting against something I bet you they don't even know what they're fighting about anymore. Now, that's what happens. Yeah. In a way, spiritually and physically, in another country here, you would be taking away the toys from either government. And that is what? Number one, the common people. Common people aren't toys to mess around with and get destroyed. That's already wrong. Either side. I don't care. Who's right or wrong or started this and that. That's already wrong. the message that should be coming from us in countries that are not dealing with this kind of conflict is what? Is to show, and the United States is such a melting pot of all kinds of people from all over the world. That's what you show. You show we can do it here. Look all this. We can be united, right? Oh yeah, some people. Oh yeah, right. Oh hey, look, don't. If you don't like it here in the United States, please do move away. Antarctica would be a good place for it. Just saying. Right? I think that we could be a much better example here in supporting both sides, the common people, and I think creating a bridge. Right. Then you would have to, you know what? We're going to have to take that a little bit on faith as well. Will there be some people want to just create a rocket, this and that, a ruckus or whatever? Yeah, I'm sure. But the ruckus is already happening. So how about we bring some peace on our own soil when it comes to all that into the mix? Yeah. It'll touch people's hearts. It'll touch heaven's hearts. Then things really start moving. Okay, had my say. Let's get going here. Whew. After I watched, I said, oh, did I have to watch this? Because I needed to say something? I don't know. Oh, I need these. Ooh, I'm sweating now. All right, we are in. So best I can do again is just pray. Pray and put the solutions out there that I think are quite possible. I said, I just don't understand how so many people out there think that creating conflict here now in our country between both countries that are fighting is how's that going to solve anything? It's like, are people really so gung-ho to just want to fight? Right? Yes? I think that here's another one. I think that every city, every town, and maybe every district even should have a boxing ring, right? And kind of in a center somewhere where you can sign up and say, I have a beef with that person and we want to fight, right? And then have it a controlled fight. I don't know, to get people's aggression out of their self or something. So weird. Ugh. Anywho. So. We are in the second book of Chronicles 28. Anyway, for me, the best thing, again, what I can do is just pray. Pray that God Almighty, unbelievable. I'm looking at this whole situation, not just there, Russia and Ukraine, the same thing, and I'm going, seriously? Did these men never grow up? All of them. They never grew up from being boys? Mess with people's lives? So they're like serial killers in disguise, in my opinion. All of them. I don't care which side it is. You go out there and you start a war over, I don't know, just because you can. Start killing off people. Right? While you're sitting behind the desk going, hey, how many did we kill today? Ooh, they're serial killers. Just saying. Disguised ones. Watching from afar. It's very sad. All right, second book of Chronicles 28. Ahaz was 20 years old when he became king, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. But he was an evil king, unlike his ancestor King David. He was an evil king. Okay. For he followed the example of the kings over in Israel and worshipped the idols of Baal. He even went out to the valley of Hinnom, and it was not just to burn incense to the idols, for he even sacrificed his own children in the fire, just like the heathen nations that were thrown out of the land by the Lord to make room for Israel. What? He did what? Oh my gosh. And here you just think, okay, I'm just saying, right? What was I just talking about? This sacrificing your own children. Isn't that what every leadership does when they start a war? They're starting to sacrifice their own children. The people they're supposed to be guiding and are responsible for. Oh, you don't think that's what a leader is in a government, or this or that, or anybody who wants to be a part of that? I think you are. I think they are. What did I say? Use people's lives. For what exactly? Right? Here, now we have a king. If this is true, right? I know people make up a whole lot of stuff and lies in order to look better themselves or to get to where they want to go to and put someone down. I know how that works too. Right? So if this is true and this king sacrificed his own kids, which to me means what? What does it sound like? It doesn't sound. It doesn't say sacrificed the people of Israel by going to another war. It sounds like he sacrificed his own children from his wives and concubines. So he's had enough again. That's it. You have enough kids. I guess you can, spare a few. Right? For what exactly? I'm not sure. Aha. See, this is awful. Oh wow! Why did I have that? I guess that's why. Oh, all right. But could also be that they just needed whatever was going on in Judah. Don't know. Yeah. Yes, he sacrificed and burned incense at the idol shrines on the hills and under every green tree. What? I don't believe that. See, this is under every green tree. I don't know, maybe there weren't many. That is why the Lord God allowed the king of Syria to defeat him and deport large numbers of his people to Damascus. The armies from Israel also slaughtered great numbers of his troops. Now, why would Israel do that? Didn't they? Okay. On a single day, Pekah, the son of Remaliah, killed 120,000 of his bravest soldiers because they had turned away from the Lord God. What? Of his own soldiers? Of their fathers. Wait, what? On a single day, Pekah, the son of Remaliah, killed 120,000 of his bravest soldiers because they had turned away from the Lord God of their fathers. Now I'm not getting, is this Ahaz troops that were killed by Pekah, the son of Remaliah, or Pekah, the son of Remaliah? Okay, you know what? I'm not even going to try to figure this out anymore. But it kind of goes right along with being willing to put your own people, right, in the way of war, in the way of slaughter. Right? Because of what exactly? Then Sikri, a great warrior from Ephraim, killed the king's son Maaseiah and the king's administrator Azrikam and the king's second in command Elkanah. The armies from Israel also captured 200,000 Judean women and children and tremendous amounts of booty which they took to Samaria. 200,000 women and children and a tremendous amount of loot. And of course, these human lives here, women and children, they're what? They're also booty. They're also loot, right? Unbelievable. Unbelievable on how little care and reverence was given to life. Right? Oh, it's still like that, isn't it? What were we just talking about? You guys always know best. It just depends on where I go with it. Huh? All right. That's just terrible. But Oded, a prophet of the Lord, was there in Samaria, and he went out to meet the returning army. Look, he exclaimed, the Lord God of your fathers was angry with Judah and let you capture them, but you have butchered them without mercy, and all heaven is disturbed. And now, are you going to make slaves of these people from Judah and Jerusalem? What about your own sins against the Lord your God? Oh! Listen to me and return these relatives of yours, relatives of yours to their homes, for now the fierce anger of the Lord is upon you. Some of the top leaders of Ephraim also added their opposition. These men were Azariah, the son of Johanan, Berechiah, the son of Meshilemot, Yehizkiah, wow, that's a Yehizkiah, the son of Shallum, and Amasa, the son of Hadlai. He must not bring the captives here, they declared. If you do, the Lord will be angry, and the sin will be added to our many others. We are in enough trouble with God as it is. Wait a second. Didn't it just say in the beginning that Ahaz, that's his name, isn't it? Yeah. Ahaz was regarded as an evil king because he followed on what Israel was doing, right? With the devil god and this and that. But here now it sounds like that Israel was worried about not following. Yeah. Oh, now we're okay. What was going on in Israel while we were talking here about Ahaz and Judah? It seems like they're also now it's going to sound like, well, Israel had a good king, so they did well, so God was on their side now, and that's why they won against Judah, the evil king. Now this prophet says to them, hey, wait a minute. Don't do that with all them people. Just like I said. Because now God's going to be angry at you again. And we're already in enough trouble. Huh? Are you hearing this? Just saying. Mm-hmm. So the army officers turned over the captives and booty to the political leaders to decide what to do. Then the four men already mentioned distributed captured stores of clothing to the women and children who needed it, and gave them shoes, food, and wine, and put those who were sick and old on donkeys, and took them back to their families in Jericho, the city of palm trees. Then their escorts returned to Samaria. Oh. Oh. Interesting, right? It was all about the captives, the hostages. That this morning when I watched the news, was all about them and how to get a ceasefire and have the hostages released. And here now we're reading this. Interesting. About that time, see, when it comes to human lives like that, I don't care. First of all, they should never be used for bargaining, right? And both sides are doing that in Israel and Palestine right now, right? And I think that the bigger country should just let everybody go home. Done. Right? Let them go home. Don't use human lives as bait. Don't use them for it as a deal. I think that's already very, very wrong. Let them go. Let them go home. And guess what? Guess what? What do you think would happen then? Huh? Just saying. Again, I guess there has to always be a first one who says, no, we're not doing that. Send all. All. We're not just going to send the ones home that we captured during this time in the war. What other political prisoners do we have? Send them all home. Send them all home. Send them home. Mm-hmm. Ach, this is so disturbing. About that time, King Ahaz of Judah asked the king of Assyria to be his ally in his war against the armies of Edom. For Edom was invading Judah and capturing many people as slaves. Meanwhile, the Philistines had invaded the lowland cities and the Negev and had already captured Beth Shemesh, Aijalon, Gederot, Soko, Timnah, and Gimzo with their surrounding villages, and were living there. Also, I wonder when they say, and they were living there, right? What does that mean? So this war's been going on for how long? That people settled, other people who captured all these places are settled there now, in a way. That's kind of what it sounds like, isn't it? Yeah, no. For the Lord brought Judah very low on account of the evil deeds of King Ahaz of Israel. Okay, listen to this. You see, this is how confusing this is. Now, Ahaz was a king of Judah. Jerusalem was in Judah. All right. So, so this is still supposed to be Judah, but here it says, "For the Lord brought Judah very low on account of the evil deeds of King Ahaz of Israel, for he had destroyed the spiritual fiber of Judah and had been faithless to the Lord." Wait a minute. Was Israel all? It was just that the king was in Judah, but it was all of Israel. But that's not what it sounded like before. When, okay, you see how confusing this is? Because now it sounds like King Ahaz of Israel. Well, no, wasn't it of Judah? And wasn't he attacked by whoever was government in Israel? It's a weird one. That's it. Always pulling God. Pulling God. Oh, they're pulling God. Talking a lot about God. Pulling him in everywhere and are getting what? Confused. Are starting to lose a sense of reality, right? When it comes to all that. That's another interesting thing. How suddenly then religion is just being used for what? Okay, I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. It's something to restore, not destroy. As I said, huh? One says, I said that in the beginning too. You say something, you gotta have to make sure, for sure, that people understand what you're saying. Right? I didn't say religion was bad. I didn't say that religion caused wars. It's people, again, using certain things that are meant for goodness. They twist it around to their own gain, for their own whatever. Right? And then what? Pulling God into all these wars. Oh, first one side, then the other side. Oh, the reason you lost is because he's angry with you now. Oh, the reason you will lose is because if you don't, right? Regardless, that was a good thing to let all these women and children go back home, right? Yes? Because somebody did say, hey, this is wrong. This is not right. Right? Regardless on. Right? Good. And who was that? Oh, some of the right? Officials or this or that. They should be given some credit for that, I think. Yeah. Anyway. Interesting how this is all reading here. Very confusing and uh, disguised on what really is going on. And if I'm confused reading this now, I bet you that the people, in Israel were the common people were very confused in what was going on. Just saying, there you go. Who suffers always under this? All right. For he had destroyed. Okay. But when Tilgat-Pilneser, king of Assyria, arrived, he caused trouble for King Ahaz instead of helping him. So even though Ahaz had given him the temple gold and the place treasures, it did no good. Aha. Did you just hear that? That's another thing. That's another factor that, yeah, you will not get to hear. So what kind of deals, this snap, do certain people make with countries outside, outside the war zone, and then instead of getting the help, right, someone takes advantage of you, or this, I'm just saying, and it gets even more messed up, right? Who do you help? As outsiders, who do you help? You choose one country over the other. Who should you help? Then it's actually happening, but who should you help? And that's the only help you get. You definitely do not supply either country with more weapons. But what should you do if you want to do something? What should be done? And that takes a lot of organization, that things then go exactly where they need to go, this and that, right? Yes? No? That's what I would be watching. Again. Just saying. Say, okay, let's see who's accommodating the foreign aid and to where it actually needs to go, while these two governments are doing what to their own people? That outsiders, foreigners, have to come in and take care of the wounded, take care to make sure that they have enough water and food. That's a disgrace. That's a disgrace to either government. That's a disgrace on their shoulders. And then other governments around the world should tell that to these two governments. You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace to this world. A disgrace. And you tell that to any country that starts stuff like this. A disgrace. That's what you are. And listen. No one who lets their people suffer like that, gets them into a state like that, should be a leader of a government. Or be in the government at all. That's what I say. All right. My goodness, this goes right along with what I watched this morning, and I'm absolutely 100% disturbed. But did I also give some solutions? Am I just complaining and pointing fingers? I am pointing fingers, you betcha. But am I also kind of giving solutions? Yes, I am. Are we getting, what are we? What are we learning from the Old Testament here? This is what? Close to 4,000 years later. We're still doing the same thing? Talking as mankind. They're still doing the same thing as they did 4,000 years ago. They haven't figured out a thing. Are you getting this? Okay, all right. Continue on. I know I'm not yelling at you. I'm just, hey. Anybody point that out? Please. Oh, I'm doing it. That's right. Spirit world, we can always depend on you, Daniela. Yes, I know. I wish I had a few $1 billion so I could just take care of some things out there that need to be taken care of. I know there's people who have millions and billions of dollars out there just sitting in the bank doing nothing, accruing interest. I'm just saying. I know how the bank system works too, and with lots of money and I don't know what. I get that. And really when it comes down to it, nobody in this country has a dime anymore, okay? It's just all floating around, this and that, and somehow we still manage to, okay, just saying. I know how it works, okay? But I just don't understand how people need so much money. And yeah, and really, when it comes down to it, right? A lot of them are philanthropists, right? They do good things, good stuff out there for, and they, and probably people don't even know it. Oh my goodness, but it's not enough. Right? If you make so much money through the people of this country, give it all back. Just keep what you really truly need. Who the heck needs to live in a what? $50 million mansion. Tell me, who needs to live in that? That's ridiculous. Live in a, okay, you're well off. Live in $1 million, $2 million mansion. And make sure that 48 other million goes to something better than your lifestyle. I'm just saying. I think that people out there that come up with something really good, that they invented, this or that, and they're making a lot of money with it, there's a reason you're getting this money. There's a reason, okay, you have that. Why don't I have that? Why did I not invent something and then make that kind of money out there? Oh, where you suddenly even become a billionaire. Why not? Because God already knows, Spirit World already knows. She'd be building orphanages and probably huge gardens for people out there, and she would be paying things off for people, and she'd be going all over the world, making sure that her friend Nancy's little office that is struggling right now due to who knows what, which they're doing the character education books, which are fabulous and fantastic, and they're seeing some financial burden is coming up. I would make sure that they would not have to worry about money again and have enough people to help them work this out so it can go all over the world for the rest of the time that needs to be done. Things like that. Good things out there. Right? Yes? Yeah. Oh, would I? No. No. I would be very careful where I would give. Right? And if an organization out there, you need to go and check out how much the CEO. Okay, no, you know what? I'm not even non-profit. I'm not going to go there. I just said what I had to say here, right? Yes. So the people who are making all this money, there's a reason why you got it. It's all about restoring that as well. Money has been a part of so much suffering. Anyway, I could talk more and more about that, but let us finish up here. It's raining, which is great. I need to have those buckets filled up out there, and I thought about it yesterday. We really need some rain, and here it is. I don't think it was in the forecast. Maybe it was. My sister's like, oh, it's raining. I'm going, oh, that means maybe it wasn't in the forecast. I just needed it. So it rains. Thank you, God. Blew the clouds right over my property. Yes. Okay. Oh, I believe that. You can believe whatever you want. All right. Okay. So even though Ahaz had given him the temple gold and the palace treasures, it did no good. So the temple was raided again. Wow. I don't know why I even bothered. As I said, just put everything in there made out of wood, right? Yeah. Gosh. Oh, then it would be more what? Constant, wouldn't it? Yeah, no constancy going on here. In a time of deep trial, King Ahaz collapsed spiritually. In this time of deep trial, King Ahaz collapsed spiritually. That's a nice way of saying what? Okay. He sacrificed to the gods of the people of Damascus who had defeated him, for he felt that since these gods had helped the kings of Syria, now he comes, they would help him too if he sacrificed to them. So my feeling is he did not do that from the beginning. It was, okay, you know what? I'm not going to go there. But instead they were his ruin and that of all his people. The king took the gold bowls from the temple and slashed them to pieces and nailed the door of the temple shut so that no one could worship there, and made altars to the heathen gods in every corner of Jerusalem. And he did the same in every city of Judah, thus angering the Lord God of his fathers. Probably was more crying. Frustrated. The other details of his life and activities are recorded in the annals of the kings of Judah and Israel. When King Ahaz died, he was buried in Jerusalem, but not in the royal tombs, and his son Hezekiah became the new king. You know what comes to mind is the spiritual breakdown of that one king. I think that's been happening a long time. And my feeling is that maybe, just maybe, something's starting to go wrong with that lineage. Okay? What was it in the beginning? I'm going to make sure that your lineage, David's lineage, blah, 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 says, but what's going on with all the stuff that they're doing? And one of them, I have a feeling this is what's got a lot of incest going on there. That's what I'm starting to think. I'm not kidding. I think that's maybe, not just saying, right? And that causes some problems within the lineage. Psychological problems. It does. It's proven that you shouldn't do that. It causes all kinds of deformities. This. Okay, I'm just saying. And here now the next king again is, why don't they just say, okay, they had no problems doing that at the beginning, right? When they first had what was that first king's name? I forgot. Right? They had no problems taking David from a completely different lineage than the one that was also chosen, that first one. I can't remember his name. Well, whatever. Right? I think that they need to be done with this lineage. If that's what they still want to do. The best thing would be we need to stop this. We need to go back all the way back to Moses and find out where everything went wrong. And then they'll come to find out, well, Samuel was told. We're reading it in here, so it had to be somewhere as well. At that time. God told Samuel, yeah, I wouldn't do that. Don't get that king. It's going to be a mess. And it is a mess. And the mess is becoming greater and greater and greater. Right? I'm starting to kind of lose sight of who is who's fighting against each other. The Israelites are not just fighting against each other in pretty horrific ways. Also, everybody else from the outside is, and even though they're giving them like Judah, giving the Assyrian king all this stuff, still the king comes in and says, "Oh no, we're going to just take over now." That's how great the mess is now. Right? That's how great the mess is. The only good thing that I heard out of this, and that's for a reason as well, is when the captives were all taken by the side of Israel from Judah, all the 200,000, as it says here, Judean women and children. When some of the officials said, "No, now don't do that," which also thought they were following other gods, and said, "Send them back," and they sent them back in better condition than when they took them. I mean, gave them shoes, clothes, donkeys to ride, this, that, right? Just saying. That's what it says here, too. And I, reading this, having watched the news, send the hostages home without a deal. Just let them go. Let them go home. And even the few that you're letting go, I don't know how many there are on either side, but let them go home. And guess what? Just they'll be okay. I'm not going to go there. Can't tell people everything. I know. So there it is. That's all I have to say this morning. I have to thank Chili now. I have to thank Barn first. I have to thank Barn. and I have to make a decision. It's so warm out there. It really is. It's not wrong for the horses to get wet. They kind of get cleaned up that way. Instead of using a hose, and they just get. So I think I'm going to just let them out anyway. It's too warm to keep them in. They'll get a nice bath out there. Also, they're losing all their hair now again, their winter hair. That's going to help with that as well. You know what? Yep, that's what I'm going to do. See? Yes. All right. So, then chili. And then I have a sign to make. It's ready to be painted now. Oh, I know what I'm going to call it. I was going to call it Rosie's Workshop, right? That little workshop. Yeah, workshop. I'm going to call it Rosie's Chalet. Chalet. Could call it Rosie's Castle. Yeah. Oh, palace. Palace. Who says a palace has to be? What does a palace mean? What does a palace entail? Grandeur, this and that. That just depends on what kind of grandeur you're looking for. What does grandeur actually mean? What does having a palace actually mean? Just saying. Yes. Heavenly parents, love and blessings. Heavenly parents, protection to y'all. And I will talk to y'all another time.